So it's been a few months since Last Epoch was released, and I have stopped playing the game. And if you look at the Steam analytics, you will see that most players have stopped playing the game too. So what happened? So what I think happened is something that happens to a lot of free-to-play games or live service games, which is a lack of updates. Now, if you go on Steam and look at the update page, there are some hotfixes, there have been some updates, but if you compare that to live service games, you will see that these updates are lacking. Since there has been like one major update since the game's release. That's how games die, that's how live service games die. Now, Last Epoch is still a good ARPG, it is still a good video game, but it is extremely bad live service game. Even with all the improvements they added to the game, they still haven't fixed the biggest problem with the game, which is the end game. The end game is still bad. It is on a fundamental level. The way that it functions is bad. And all they did was modify it and add some content to it, but no one really wants to play the end game in Last Epoch. It is extremely bad. So as of right now, the number of players is 1,689, which is lower than Diablo 4 and Path of Exile, which is crazy since this is at the end of the league, and most Path of Exile players are now waiting for Path of Exile 2, which just got delayed for 3 weeks. And that is, to me, is insane, since this game on Steam had higher player count than Diablo 4 and Path of Exile. Now, yes, these two games have their own launchers, which have more players, and the number of players on Steam doesn't represent console players too. But it shows that the game is extremely falling off, which is a shame since this game is actually really good. I would still recommend it to people who like playing single player games, but not the end game. There is no content in the game, unfortunately. And this lack of content and updates and overhaul to the end game is what's killing this game, which is a shame. It's really a shame. Now, every other live service game relies on these updates, consistent major updates. Path of Exile, Diablo, and games other than ARPGs like Warframe. Now, Warframe is, as an example, is extremely successful game. This game, just like Path of Exile, has been out for many years and it has received consistent weekly updates. And I want to show you something. This is what the developers of Warframe have said about their game.
I bolded the only word that matters, which is consistency, but the rest is, good note-taking. It's because we really do update consistently with Warframe. When you're a Warframe player on PC, every week you're getting something. If you're a Warframe player on console, likely every month you're getting something, and that consistency sort of makes its way in three areas. It's either a fix, a change, an addition, one of those, all of those, some combination of the two, or the three rather. And that's a routine that our players really expect. If it's a Wednesday on PC and we don't have a hotfix note out, the players start asking, where is it? What's happening this week? And we tell them, we say, okay, well, guess what? We are a bit late with this week's update, so expect it tomorrow. Or, we tell them, oops, it's actually going to be Friday. Or sometimes we say, actually, we can't do anything this week. But the communication is always consistent as well.
And yeah, consistent updates, weekly updates, reworking the game, fixing the game is essential to keeping a game alive. So yeah, that's what I think happened. They still have a chance. They just need to completely overhaul the endgame loop for the game. They did have like quality of life improvements to the game, but they're not consistent. There has been really one major update since the launch, which is just bad. There's not many live service ARPG games out now. There's only two, Path of Exile and Diablo 4. And Path of Exile 2 is gonna be released very soon, so who knows what's gonna happen with this game. Anyway, what do you think? Are you still playing the game? There's only 1,600 players. Do you think the game is gonna receive any major overhaul to the game? Or do you think the developers have just given up on the game? Let me know in the comments below.